How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks. We focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MULN and as well as for Polestar. I know it's been a minute since I showed my face on camera, but after that sell-off we had on Friday, I'm like, wait a second, we need to have a talk. As far as for these plays, we're going to be taking a look at the charts, and we're also going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. I can see a lot more pain coming inside of the market, so I want to make sure that you are prepared for that. So if you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description because I do value your time. And then after we get through those videos, then I'll give you guys my final thoughts for both of these plays. So let's get into it right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart from MULN. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at 63 cents, being down 5.33%. On the low, it tested 63 cents, and then on the high, testing 69 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 94.08 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 80.484 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, but of course we had a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, it is looking bearish. We are trading below all of our major moving averages. Plus, on top of that, we didn't even try to retest the 9 EMA, and we did form a lower high and as well as a lower low. If you remember what I said in my previous video, MULN does have a gap that needs to be filled right around 68 cents. So I see it getting there for the coming week, especially wanting to see it test around 60 cents. As far as for the 52-week low, it is at 52 cents. We are getting near there. So I know a lot of investors are going to be watching this level, and I'm going to be very curious to see what it does if it decides to even break through it. But in the meantime, if you want to see some strength in the stock, it did see a high at 69 cents, and we have the 9 EMA, which is at 72 cents. So we need to get a move to 72 and then get that break going to the 21 EMA, which is at 80 cents. If we don't get that and we form another lower low and as well as a lower high, that's why I'm saying there's more downside. But in my opinion, for this coming week and the direction of the market, and also taking into consideration the month of September, things are going to continue not to look good for MULN only if they end up releasing a catalyst. We know when the catalysts come through, this thing can move very quickly, but just by taking a look at the chart, it's looking very bearish. We have resistance right at the 9 EMA. We didn't even test it on the Friday. Definitely not looking good. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information from MULN. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we're going to take a look at the filings for the 26th. So we have Pro Funds that purchased 47 shares. We also have Dutch that purchased 3,125 shares. And we have Pro Funds again that purchased 55 shares. We also have Fidelity that purchased 3,777 shares. We see BlackRock that purchased 5,198 shares, Small Cap Equity Fund that purchased 7,140 shares, and Master Investment Portfolio that purchased 49,413 shares. And as far as for the others, we have already covered. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 59.34%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 40.62 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 850,000, updated 6 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 20.51%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 25th, it is at 46.13, and then for the close of the 26th, it is at 59.34. So that is a significant increase right there. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 15.24%, MULN does continue to have short squeeze potential. Let's take a look at Polestar. So it ended up closing on the Friday at $8.38, being down 2.67%. On the low, it tested $8.22, and then on the high, testing $8.67. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 1.241 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 1.306 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, and we saw a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, not only are we trading below all of our major moving averages, which is the 50 EMA to 21 EMA, and as well as a 9 EMA, the market did fall quite a bit bit, but I must say that Polestar still held up above the low that we saw on August the 23rd, which is at the 52-week low at $8.19. It only got to $8.22. It did see a high at $8.67, so if you want to see some strength out of this play, it needs to retest this level for the coming week and then get that break going to at least a 9 EMA at $8.77, and of course you want to look for the move going to $9. But from what I'm seeing so far, it looks like we do have some consolidation here, but if we do break down and we get below that $8.19 level, that's where Polestar can start testing $8, and then we want to see if buyers are going to be stepping in. Keep in mind, we will be below the 52-week low, so if it comes down to $8, it could start coming down very quickly because we have no support whatsoever below these levels. We only have support at $8.19, so you want to watch this one very, very close. And for my investors out there, hey, this might open up an opportunity for you, especially as we go into the month of September. But for the most part, from what I'm seeing from this chart, let's see if this consolidation can continue, but if it decides to go down, at least you guys know what it looks like. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Polestar. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings we have for the 26th, we have First Trust Hedge Buy Right Income ETF that purchased 7,969 shares. We have Defiance Next Gen SPAC Derived ETF that purchased 8,650 shares. And we also have Berkshire Focus Fund that purchased 10 shares. And these are the filings for the 26th, like I stated. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 56.18%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is at 368,816 shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 30,000, updated 8 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 116.07%, and the max on the day was at 149.33%. So that is quite the difference. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 25th, it was at 51.38, and then for the close of the 26th being at 56.18. So it did go up quite a bit. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float, it is at 7.26%. So Polestar does continue to have short squeeze potential, but we need to have some buying volume coming into the play. We can clearly see that the shorts are winning out. We have the borrow fee that is coming down, and as far as for the price action is concerned, we need to see a move up before it goes back to testing those 52-week lows. So let's see what it does. So to give you guys my final thoughts for MULN and as well as for Polestar, let's start off with MULN. So we are looking for MULN to fill in the gap at 62 cents. We also do know that there's a 52-week low at around 52 cents. So considering how near it is, if you are an investor and you're thinking about taking a position in this play, I would exercise some patience, especially as the market continues to pull back. We also do see some continued weakness due to the fact that it is forming lower lows and as well as lower highs, and it continues to have resistance right at that 9 EMA. And we know already for this play, it is catalyst driven. We do have a catalyst coming up in October. I talked about that in some previous videos, so you can look into that and see if this would be a play that you'd be interested in, or if you're already inside of the play, think about a strategy of how you want to manage your position. As far as for Polestar, the key level to watch is right at that 52-week low as well, which is at $8.19. If we end up breaking below this level, then I could see us testing $8, and that's where you want to see some strength. Unfortunately, since a 52-week low is the last area of support that we have, once we break below it, there's no telling where this stock could go. But you want to keep your ears to the streets as far as for news, catalysts, and so forth, because that may help out the stock. Also, if you are a bull inside of the play, you want to see some price action above $8.77. So that is a range to be well aware of. But for this coming week, it is looking bearish after taking a look at the chart, also taking into consideration the sell-off that we had on Friday. As more investors start going risk off, we're going to see that selling. And we are going to one of the worst months of the year, which is September. So we can't ignore these facts. Will these stocks pick back up? I think so. But we have to know that the market does go through cycles, and you just have to make sure that you game plan and you are prepared for it. And that is why I put these videos together for you guys. So let's see how these stocks perform for the coming week. I will continue to keep you guys inside of the loop, and it was great seeing you guys again back on video. We'll be talking real soon.